A crisis of confidence in China now. The real estate and the shadow banking industry is in the eye of the storm. Saddled with debt of over $300 billion, property developer Evergrande has filed for bankruptcy protection in the United States. Add to that, investors protested outside one of the country's largest shadow banks in a rare show of public outrage. Several macroeconomic indicators are showing weakness in the economy, and the Chinese central bank has stepped in to prop up the yuan. Kanishka Sarkar reports on the intensifying crisis in China and its potential implication for the global economy and India.
These are investors in financial products issued by China Evergrande Group. They were protesting outside the cash-strapped company's offices in January 2022, as they worried their returns would be sacrificed to keep real estate projects afloat. This was the first leg of China's real estate sector's debt crisis that began unfolding in mid-2021. Since then, companies accounting for 40% of Chinese home sales have defaulted, most of them private property dealers. Nearly 2 years later, Evergrande Group, the world's most indebted developer, has failed to repay a $250 million bond and has knocked on the doors of a U.S. bankruptcy court for protection. It's a move that protects its U.S. assets from creditors while it works on a restructuring deal elsewhere. Back home, Country Garden was China's largest property developer until last year and was once considered a financially sound company. But its liabilities totaled about $194 billion at the end of 2022. It too is on the verge of default. The crisis in China comes at a time when the economy is slowing and exports are struggling. Nomura became the latest to lower China's 2023 GDP forecast to 4.6%. Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan are also expecting growth to slow below 5%. The public anger is spilling out on the streets. A group of investors was seen protesting outside Zhongrong International Trust, one of China's largest shadow banks, in a rare show of public outrage. Many believe Beijing may need to intervene to stem the downward spiral. The fall in exports and imports in China is having a significant impact on global economy and trade. Investors are keeping a close eye on the economy. The Chinese central bank intervened today in the market to prop up the yuan, which fell to a 16-year low against the US dollar. Indian real estate industry, meanwhile, does not expect any major impact due to the property crisis in China. In fact, Anurag Group Chairman Anuj Puri believes that India could gain competitive advantage and attract more capital to the housing sector. This is Kanishka Sarkar reporting for CNBC-TV18.